This is one of the most disturbing but important videos I feel like I'm ever gonna make, because maybe people might not be looking at it right now and realizing it, but let's hope that when people look back at this as a historical event, it'll be recognized that this has got to be up there in one of the most worst crimes against humanity committed by a world leader. Alright, and as for this part here, I'm showing you how to make your own straps from material just in case you can't find or get your hands on any shoelaces or ribbons or things that would essentially do the same thing but are already pre-made. Alright, I'd recommend making them about 50 centimeters long, that's about 20 inches, and then about an inch wide, 3 centimeters wide. And you sew them like this to prevent them from fraying, and it makes it a lot easier to tie. Okay, now brace yourself for what I would describe as one of the worst acts of treason committed against the American people that resulted in 200,000 deaths at the time of me recording. Starting at February the 8th, a tweet by Secretary Pompeo. We have coordinated with US organizations to transport more humanitarian relief to the people in Wuhan. Personal protective equipment and other medical supplies donated by these organizations can help save lives in China and help protect people from the coronavirus. From a timeline by the New York Times, the United States reported a death on February 29th. The authorities announced that a patient near Seattle had died from the coronavirus in what was believed to be the first coronavirus death in the United States at the time. In fact, 2 people had died earlier, though their COVID-19 diagnoses were not discovered until months later. March of 2020.
So it seems to me that if we do a really good job, we'll not only hold the death down to a level that is much lower than the other way, had we not done a good job, but people are talking about July, August, something like that. So it could be right in that period of time where it washes through. Other people don't like that term, but where it washes through.
Turning out it's not just old people, Bob, just today and yesterday some startling facts came out. It's not just older
exactly.
young people, to plenty of young people.
So
what's going on
give me a moment of talking to somebody, going through this with Fauci or somebody who kind of, it caused a pivot in your mind, because it's clear just from what's on the public record that you went through a pivot on this to, oh my God, the gravity is almost inexplicable and unexplainable.
Well, I think, Bob, really, to be honest with you,
Sure, I want you to
I
be.
wanted to always play it down. I still like playing it down.
And this is a United States Postal Service press release draft that was never used because obviously the plan never happened. US Postal Service to deliver face coverings to every American household. Historic delivery of 650 million face coverings in partnership with the White House Coronavirus Task Force, the Department of Health and Human Services, and a consortium of textile manufacturers. The US Postal Service today announced it would distribute 600 million reusable cotton face coverings on behalf of the Department of Health and Human Services to every residential delivery point in America, beginning in areas which the HHS has identified as expecting high transmission rates of COVID-19, and to workers providing essential services throughout the nation during this pandemic. This unprecedented undertaking is being done in partnership with the White House Coronavirus Task Force, the HHS, and a consortium of textile manufacturers, Project America Strong sub-task force within the Federal Emergency Management Agency, FEMA. United Command structure is complementing the administration's whole-of-nation response to COVID-19. The first shipments are expected to reach U.S. households as early as April XX. The United States Postal Service is proud to partner with the White House Coronavirus Task Force, the Department of Health and Human Services, and a consortium of textile manufacturers in delivering on this crucial nation incentive, said Postmaster General and CEO Morgan J. Brennan. Our organization organization is uniquely suited to undertake this historic mission of delivering face coverings to every American household in the fight against the COVID-19 virus. See, this plan was good to go to the point where they had a press release ready and the White House stopped it. This is from a report by CNN from May. Before May 1st, the next highest US daily death toll was 2,471, reported on April 23rd, according to the WHO. And now this was Trump in June.
When you do testing to that extent, you're going to find more people, you're going to find more cases. So I said to my people, slow the testing down, please. They test and they test. We got tests that people don't know what's going on. We got tests. We got another one over here. The young man's 10 years old. He's got the sniffles. He'll recover in about 15 minutes. That's a case. Add him to it. That's a case. That's a case.
But happy 4th of July. We're on the way to a tremendous victory. It's going to happen, and it's going to happen big.
This thing's going away. It will go away like things go away. And my view is that schools should be open. If you look at children are almost, and I would almost say definitely, but almost immune from this disease. So few. They've got stronger, hard to believe, I don't know how you feel about it, but they have much stronger immune systems than we do somehow for this. And they do it, they don't have a problem. They just don't have a problem.
Why don't you support a mandate for national mask wearing? And why don't you wear a mask more often?
Well, I do wear them when I have to and when I'm in hospitals and other locations. But I will say this. They said at the Democrat convention they're going to do a national mandate. They never did it because they've checked out and they didn't do it. And a good question is you ask, like Joe Biden, they said we're going to do a national mandate on masks.
He's called on all governors to have them. It is a state responsibility.
No, but he didn't do it. I mean, he never did it.
Now, let's quickly go through the rate of death from COVID-19 in a couple of different countries. Australia's population of just over 25 million, and as of today we have 869 deaths. That gives us a death rate per 100,000 of 3 United States of America with just over 331 million people. And as of today, the 26th of September, they have just over 200,000 dead. That gives them 61 per 100,000. Compared to Australia's 3. Now, alright, we have a very big population difference. That's why I included this one. Japan, with over 126 million people. And it says that 1,540 people died from COVID-19 in Japan, which gives them about one person for every 100,000. Now, I'm willing to bet my sewing machine that this might have something to do with their culture being very accepting of wearing masks, because Japan's land mass is just a little bit smaller than California. That's like saying instead of having 40 million people live in California, having 40% of America's population all live in that one state. That's what Japan's like. That's like having everybody here and an extra 100 million people living in just the area of 1 Victoria and 2 Tasmanias. Like, it wouldn't even fill half of a New South Wales. Australians, do you hear me? Anyways, you want this rectangle of material to be a bit bigger than your ideal final product because you still need to sew the edges. If your material's on the thicker side, I'd say you only use 2 pieces of material, but if it's on the thinner side, maybe chuck in another one, but you don't want to make it too thick so you can't breathe. But either way, you'll definitely need 2. Okay, my rough guidelines for the size of the face covering bit would be around 10 inches by 7 inches, so like 25 centimeters by 18 centimeters. Now, once you have your 2-3 pieces of material and you've cut them so they're all the same size rectangle, you then work out what side you would want to be the outside. Now what you need to do is put your rectangles together so they'd be inside out. So you put the 2 nice sides that you'd want to be presented and touching your face, you put them facing each other, and then you get your straps or your shoelaces or whatever you have to sew to it so you can tie it to your head. You put them in the corner with the rest of the strand going inwards. So we're going to have to sew it all up around the edges with all the cord strings inside, because don't forget, whatever material is on the inside facing each other, that's going to be what you see in the final product. Now make sure you have enough of the strap in the corner so you do actually sew over it, because it's a bit hard to see once you've got all the layers together. And you want to go around 3 sides, making sure you get all 4 corners, but you have to leave an opening so we can put it the right way round. Okay, and so through the opening that we left in one of the sides, we're going to pull all the straps through, putting it the right way. And then this next step can get a bit tricky, but I do highly recommend you give it a go. Because now we fold the mask, because it makes it go with the shape of your face a lot better and gives it a much snugger fit. And I guess the best way I could try to describe this is, do you remember folding those paper fans? It's kind of like doing that. Every second one, you'll fold it going the same way. And this is also good because it adds those extra layers. Good for if you're using thinner material. And so while you sew the folds in place, this is when you also sew up the opening. And just a reminder that Donald Trump is an evil and stupid piece of shit. Because if everybody wanted the economy to keep going, but you didn't want anybody to wear masks, when that was your best chance to keep the economy going, and your own government had already put the steps in motion to get masks to Americans. But he shot himself in the foot because he'd rather have people not wear a piece of cloth on their face, act like everything's fine, and die in huge numbers. How could you call yourself an American while not only standing by while thousands of your people die, but making sure it happens? That is disgusting. And there you have it, a homemade face mask. Oh, and do not forget the hand sanitizer. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, and send this to an American.